Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's the Entrepreneurs here, and today what we'll be doing is we'll be continuing our investing with Max series. If you guys have not watched the previous video, I highly suggest you guys go watch that now. As a disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes only, and if you're looking for financial advice, I highly suggest you seek out a registered financial advisor. If that makes sense, let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen here with you guys, and as usual, the cannabis space or the MJ space is not looking so good. I'm just gonna make myself a little bit bigger here. And what we'll be going over today is Rev, Lifest, BLDV, Weed, ACB, and Tilray. And you can definitely see Weed, Tilray, ACB, it's hitting its lower lows, meaning that, you know, ever since, let's say even 5 years ago, right, how low it got, it's hitting those levels again. So it's pretty insane that, you know, Weed, ACB, Tilray is hitting these numbers, and even though their asset is in billions, but their, you know, market cap is super low right now. So this is you know, like what a lot of people always say is that when there's fear in the market, right, that's when you actually take advantage. But when people are greedy in the market, that's when you become fearful, where you're like, okay, no, I'm not going to invest because, you know, people are greedy and the market is going high and high. So basically that's what, you know, Warren Buffett said, right? One of his famous quote. But let's look over at Riv Capital, and you can see that the last trading day, it's at negative 7.69, almost 8%, and it's currently at 12 cents. And this stock here, back in 2018, you know, it was at like $8-9, right? So it was super insane how from $8 to $9, and I think the peak was even at $11. And now look at it, from $11 to 12 cents. That's how crazy it is. So this is what happens when there's a what we could even say bubble in the market, when everybody is so hype about the legalization of the cannabis space. Then after that it pops, then you can see it drastically go down in, you know, 18, 19, you know, that was pretty big. 19, what is it now? It's 2023, right? So 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, so 4 years, almost 5 years, that it hit the high top to basically to where it is now. And, you know, a lot of people can see this as like, let's say almost 90% plus of a loss if they would have realized that loss, right? Okay, so in here you can see that in the last trading day, it's hovering around the support resistance here for Riv Capital. So you can see at 15 cents, and you can see at 11, 10 cents. So it's hitting that. It's hitting that, right? So the low of 10.5 cents, and it's just hovering here. And summer is coming up, so the summer lull. So you might even see not much activities in the trading days, and also you might see the volume actually go down. And normally in the summer lull, it trades sideways. But if there's like a good news or bad news, it could go either way, right? So it's just like the market is trying to see where the actual trend will be in the summer. So keep an eye on that. Let me see if we got the earnings here. So yeah, the earning review for Rev Capital, it was on Wednesday, June 14th. Then after that, earnings is negative 0.203, estimated 910K of revenue. Then more financials here. So this is the standardized negative 0.203 earning review there. I did take a look at it. A lot of people on the, I believe it was on Wednesday, when it was June 14th, that's when it was out. So basically it was, I think it was here, so 12, so it was actually green, it closed in green, right? But then after that, on the Friday, it closed on red. So the high was 14 cents, then it closed at 12 cents. So that's why you're seeing and negative 7.69, because the last trading day it closed at 13 cents, right? So volume still low for Riv Capital, so you're not seeing major spikes there, kind of like in here where it actually dipped down. But if I go to Riv Capital here and I just search Riv Capital, and let's double check to see if there's any activity. So yeah, it's just the Riv Capital report for quarter and fiscal year 2023. So that was on June 14th, and they announced it. And Riv Capital just filed a newsletter. Then you can take a look at this, the MDA and the audited annual financial statement English F65A PDF. But if I click on this, then basically it tells you that end of fiscal year with approximately 97.9 million of cash and short-term investment with more than sufficient liquidity to capitalize on upcoming New York transition and explore opportunities beyond the state. So recently, the New York draft regulations for the market and company strategic direction, operational ramp-up expect to align with the expansion of the adult use market later this year. Then basically it talks about this. Focus on building leading multi-state platform, one of the strongest portfolio of brands in key strategic U.S. market today. Released its financial result for the fourth quarter, right? So if you definitely want to take a look into this, definitely check it out. But yeah, so they still have pretty good cash liquidity position. So 97.9 million in cash in short-term investment. So that's good, right? And yeah, you can just go over the revenue here and all that good stuff. Okay. All right, so let's move over to Lifest. Lifest has been trading sideways. I guess kind of sideways, not major sideways, but you can see here that it did dip down on March, then on June, the middle of June as well, it's hitting its newer low and lower lows. And hopefully we can see a lower high, but it's just forming this kind of like U shape here. But with the summer months as well, what we might expect is a sideways trading. And also, if we do hear good news, it might go another way, might go up. Bad news, go down again, right? So not much action going on for Lifest, but I know that they did have some good news, but the market is just not feeling it, right? The market is still skeptical with the current situation of what's happening in the market. So if I go to if I go here to CEO.ca and I click on Lifest, which is this one here. So look at this. So yeah, like on June 8th, Lifest Canmark successfully launched multi-pack concentrates in British Columbia and BC. So that's good news, right? And some people just filed 3 reports. Insider, I think they're just cashing in, or they're doing their, I can't remember, let me double check. If I click on, so I go back and I click on this, I think they were just exercising their rights. Yeah, exercising all this there. And that's like nothing, guys. Look at this, $437. And also, yeah, like you can see on June 1st, they had this as well, CEO statement of execution compensation form, and Lifest Wellness to acquire fast-growing said brand. So that was some good news. So yeah, a lot of people are saying it's loading time, folks. Now or never. Buy. Lifest Wellness just filed 2 reports again. But yeah, so that's Lifest so far. I'm seeing lots of good news with Lifest, but the share price is not reflecting that. It's just because of the market condition, and we'll just see how that goes, right? It is what it is. If you have a tough stomach and you can weather the bad conditions, and just at the time, if you're down like 80 or 90% from its peak, then it just makes sense to hold, right? Or if you have cash, to put in more money into the market, right? If you believe in the cannabis space, right? So it's all about the risk management, and totally up to you where you see the industry is going. All right, so BLGB, same thing, pretty choppy, not much volume. I guess it did trade. I guess last trading day was at 2 cents, so not major impact there, meaning there's no changes in the share price, so it's stagnant. But yeah, it's very choppy. This is very hard to trade when it's choppy like this, so I'm not gonna go too much on BLGB, but let's just double check to see what's going on in the CEO channel for BLGB. You can see that BLGB announced recognition of director of let's click on this one here. So yeah, you can see here today announced that Nook Lee has stepped down as a director of the company due to health concern. Mr. Lee will remain an advisor to the company on a local matter related to the New Mexico and Delaware basin. Then yeah, so it looks like he just stepped down because of health issue, right? So not much going on with BLGB. No big activities, but yeah, that's what it is for BLGB. So, and I know it says this one here, nice 10-1 reverse comeback, said no one. Used to have 1.5 million of this at current price. So that guy sounds like he's pretty salty about the situation. Okay, going over to weed. Weed, you can see that it's hitting its lower lows. And look at this trading volume on Friday the 16th. And the volume was at 8.94 mil, right? That's insane. But it's just been red ever since. Once it hit this support and resistance, and it broke that, then it just kept on going on lower and lower. But this is a great indication. Look at this, June 16th, 8.94 million, almost 8.95, right? And what you can see here, that there's a lot of interest of like here, people trading, right? So that's a good indication, even though that the SP is super low. Maybe people are buying in, maybe people are selling, but let's keep an eye on this volume to see if it's gonna keep going up or if it's gonna be the same. Like it could be just a one-off thing where it was a peak on Friday, then we might see the volume go down, kind of like the 1 per hour, which is at 1.25. But yeah, make a note of this, that the volume on Friday was at 8.48, almost 8.95, right? Right, and in here we can see the support resistance, so it's all right around 83 cents. 80 cents could be its low by next week, but right now a low of 0.83, right? And I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, it's gonna go down to 0.5. We'll see how the market will react next week. But if I go to weed here and I click on the channel, a lot of people are saying sell. What a nightmare. Oof, lafala, holy. Share price of 0.5. Someone's laughing. Indiva, but they had some news on June 16 here. It says Indiva and Canopy announced its closing of PP private placement, and you can read more about that. So that was last trading day, which was on Friday, and the video talks about blah 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 blah. So you can watch this video here. It's a great buying opportunity if removing cannabis off the Schedule 1 happens. So here's all right. So now going over ACB, same kind of deal where it hit its lower lows, and basically we're in a new support resistance where this one here we're at basically around 65 cents, right? Low of 65 cents, and the resistance around 75 cents here, and it's just trading in the middle of that. So I know at June 1st that it did hit its low of like 66 cents, right? 66 cents. Then after that, it just hovered over this new support resistance. So let's see what's gonna happen with ACB. But under its news here, you can see Aurora Inc. buy rating with target price of $1.15. So somebody is saying that ATB Capital. And it says here, when things are bad, when even the ST bot uses sarcasm, as noted with the quote around the world buy. Canaccord has given Aurora as a hold, target 80 cents, and ACB speculating buy rating with target price of $1. CISPC World Market has given Aurora a neutral at $1, and TD Securities has given neutral of $1 as well. So that's what's going on right now. The last news that they had was on June 14th, which was their fiscal year of third quarter for their financials. And on June 7th as well, Aurora Cannabis to host third quarter fiscal year investor conference call as filed related year and information. So yeah, that was just on June 17th. And the following week, they announced the fiscal year result. Okay, so going over to the last one, which is Tilray. Tilray is pretty insane because it had a gap down, and look at how crazy this gap down was. So in Tilray, you can see here on May 25th, right? Then on the next day, which was the next trading day is May 26th, on a Friday, it had a huge gap down. Look at this, from a high of $3.30. Then after that, a low of $3.17. Then the next trading day, it hit a low of $2.50, right? And that's like a negative 20.44 cents, and a close of $2.53, and a high of $2.59. So that's super insane, guys, right? Then it just hitting this lower low and lower high here. So you can see this is the lowest at its current state. So right now it's the low of $2.06, and it closed at $2.11, and the high of $2.15. And that's insane, guys. So the volume, you don't see much spike, but this one here, which was on Friday, May 26th, the volume was at 2.13, and the one prior to that was 475K volume, right? So something to note about that. So there's no major spikes. It's in the 1 million range and sometimes less than 1 million. But we want to see the volume go higher and higher consistently, right? So the last trading day is at $2.11. And if we go to the Tilray, okay, so we can see here, Tilray brand expands beer portfolio and launches good supply light beer. So this was actually on June 14th. So, to me, when I read this, it looks like it's good news. You can see here it says, brilliant, go after those disgruntled ex-Bud Lighter drinkers. Irwin, freaking genius. Then, so Hexo had a negative gross margin, a loss for quarter, blah, 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 currently rate of 0.4. A normal company is usually above 1.0. Hexo was in default of their debt covenant from Tilray. They had to be adjusted EBITDA positive for the quarter ended April. Tilray waived the covenant when Hexo agreed to be acquired, so Hexo could avoid a legal default where they would be forced to liquidate, still burning through cash. Shareholders still being diluted down each quarter. Hexo is a complete disaster. Tilray paid way too much for it. It's the ridiculous concept that the brand have value. I read recently there is 1.3 billion excess grams in the market in Canada. Hexo never should have acquired Zena, 48 and Redican, and Tilray never should have acquired Hexo. This company should have been allowed to die and default. So that's one of the guys said there. But yeah, so you can definitely see that the negative impact in the market. So that's what we're seeing. It's all negative. It's hitting its lower lows, and yeah, summer's coming up, and normally summer lull where stock tends to go sideways, and if there's bad news, it might even further do the continuation of the downtrend. But from past experience, and also the overall market, it's super down right now, where people are still fearful and all that good stuff, right? Just coming out of, I guess you can say, COVID. So just keep an eye on what's going on, guys. Good opportunity if you believe in the industry and you have cash and you want to fuel your portfolio with more of this, I can definitely see this easily. Riv Capital, Lifest, BLGB, Weed, ACB, Tilray. They might do another 10x from its current state, right? That's possible. Where we saw Weed, for example, it hit its like high of like $70 at one point, and look at it right now, it's less than $1, right? So I could easily see this company 10x quite easily, right? If there's good news in the US space, talking about legalization and getting rid of the what do you call it? The Section 1 or something like that. I can't remember on top of my head, but yeah, if we see it going up, then that would be good, right? For longs. For shorts, they're probably laughing and making a lot of money. So as usual, I'm gonna go show you the current situation of my portfolio for this one. So unrealized gain or loss, so it's at negative 13,199.68 cents, almost negative 87.50 cents. I would say, yeah, negative 87.50 cents. No, sorry, negative 87.50%, right? Almost 88% negative. And you can see Lifest negative 12,234.82 cents, and almost negative 89%, so 88.48%. So Rev Capital negative 907.55 cents, and almost negative 90%, which is negative 89.58%. So basically, that's what it is right now. We'll see what's going on in the summer lull. It's gonna be interesting, guys. So we definitely gotta look at what's going on in the market, and once we do that, and we hear good news, we might see a reversal trend. Until then, see you guys later. Have a good day.